Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with SureCall. Today's host is Jason Hayes, Western Region Account Manager, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box, and Jason will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today. I am finished for now. You can take it over.
Thank you, Julie. And hello, Microcom team. As always, it is my pleasure to be here to talk to you about some of our products today. We're really excited with some of the things that we have to show you. Kind of the purpose of what I've put together for you today is obviously, as all of you probably know, you've been setting the world on fire with our Fusion for Home product. To the point that I've had the pleasure and the privilege of expanding my forecast for that particular item. So we love it. I wanted to give you some more options that are kind of in that same realm. Small home office options for boosting indoor cellular coverage. Just some other ideas, some other things in that same size range roughly that you can offer customers for residential or small offices. So with that, let's just jump right into it. I've got a slide here that kind of breaks down what we're going to go through today. There's 4 basic products that I want to touch on. These would all be considered consumer products. You can see left to right there, I've got the Easy 4G, the Flare, the Fusion for Home, and the Fusion 5S. And all of these fit the category of small home office boosters. Anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 square feet is what we're going to talk about today. And I'll kind of just brush over the Fusion for Home since I think most of you are really familiar with that. But just a quick recap, all of SureCall's boosters are sold as complete kits. So that means they include the booster, the coax cable, and then these are kitted with, a lot of these are kitted with your choice of either an outside directional Yagi or an omnidirectional dome antenna. And then of course, we have kits that are bundled with dome or panel inside antennas, depending on what the customer is looking for and the installation and that kind of thing. These are all FCC approved, also Industry Canada approved, and pre-approved and certified by all of the carriers in US and Canada. So your customer doesn't have to worry about any approvals or anything like that. These all have a 3-year warranty, and then of course our lifetime pre and post sales and tech support is free of charge and always included. I'll list that number at the end of my presentation in case you or any of your customers or end users need to contact our tech support. We're always here to support our product. So first off, I want to jump in and introduce the Easy 4G. And you can see there's a couple of unique features about the Easy 4G. The circular dish-looking antenna, that's our receiving or our donor antenna that brings in the cellular signal, and then from there connects to what I think looks like a Hershey's Kiss. That's kind of our inside antenna that transmits that boosted signal. And so the value of the Easy 4G is that it's literally plug and play. Take it out of the box, plug it in, connect the coax from the circular antenna, which is also the booster built into that, and then we run that to the desktop antenna, as you can see in our diagram here. And typically you want that to be somewhat centrally located on a desk or a countertop, a tabletop, something like that. And we need a 30 feet minimum separation between the 2 units connected by coax. So this is perfect for coverage up to 2,000 square feet in any situation where you may have trouble getting an antenna outside on the roof. You can actually put this signal catcher antenna at a window where you might get some signal, and it will receive that signal and then also boost it sending it to the desktop antenna for transmission throughout the home or the office. And again, this is a relatively small coverage area, but it's going to work for 3G, 4G, voice and data, LTE, and all phones and all carriers in the US and Canada. Full retail price on this one is $349. Great plug and play kit that's perfect for like a dormitory, an apartment, a small office, a basement, anything like that where you need a signal boost and don't want to have to run an antenna and mount it on the roof outside. The next product I want to talk about is the Flare, and this is a similar kind of a concept. It's a little bit more powerful than the EZ4G. The main component of the Flare is this desktop antenna, and we've kind of reversed the thinking from the EZ4G to the Flare, whereas the EZ4G has the outside antenna and the booster combined. The Flare has the inside antenna and the booster combined. And so this desktop antenna is actually the booster as well as the broadcasting antenna. So you can see from our diagram here, the Flare comes with an outside antenna. So if you can get an antenna on the roof, it actually gives you a little bit better signal to start with, and thereby gives us more of a coverage area inside. The coverage on this one is up to about 2,500 square feet. The idea is the same. Plug it in, run the cable between the two units, and get that outside donor antenna on the roof. Typically the higher the better, but again, we need about 30 feet of separation, just like the EZ4G. And this is line of sight separation. So it's not a matter of just, stretching out that cable as far as it'll go. If the outside antenna ends up directly above that desktop booster unit, and maybe you only have 10 or 15 feet between them, that's not enough. You need 30 feet of line of sight separation with either of these two units that we've covered so far. So the Flare is an all-carrier voice and 4G LTE signal booster that provides a pretty simple setup by combining the booster and indoor antenna into an attractively designed tabletop unit. So there again, centrally locate this thing, a desktop, a tabletop, a countertop. I've had folks put these on top of the refrigerator if that's a central location, and it'll give you a nice boost in voice and data up to 2,500 square feet. This one retails for about $50 more than the EZ4G. Similar concept, again, just a little bit different idea because we're actually including an outside antenna and giving you a little bit more power and a little bit more boost. Really quickly, I'll touch on the Fusion for Home, which again, I know you're all familiar with because you're absolutely selling through all of these and doing a wonderful job with this. But the Fusion for Home is a perfect in-home, in-office signal booster setup up to 4,000 square feet and delivers unrivaled performance with cutting-edge technology, reducing dropped calls and missed calls, extends your voice and text and 4G LTE data. So you can see from the diagram here, the kit that Microcom is doing really well with is pretty much what's pictured here with an outside donor antenna that's a directional Yagi. That's, of course, designed to be mounted on the roof and kind of positioned to point toward the nearest cell tower. It's bringing in signal for all carriers, but if you can zero in on the nearest cell tower, it will really make a big difference. It includes the 50 feet of coax cable, as well as 20 feet of coax from the booster to the inside antenna. And you can see the inside panel antenna is the one that we're showing here. And that panel antenna is a real powerful one. And you can actually expand on this kit, or we have other kit configurations that include 2 or 3 inside antennas if you really have a building that's spread out and you need more cable and more antennas. But the kit that we're showing here covers up to 4,000 square feet, retails for $549.99, and will do a great job of covering a typical to, an average to a little bit larger sized home. I want to also introduce the Fusion 5S, and you'll see that this is quite similar to the Fusion for Home, kind of like the step up from the Easy 4G to the Flare kit. This is a step up from the Fusion for Home to the Fusion 5S kit. Very similar in concept, just a little bit more powerful. So we're going from 4,000 square feet of coverage on the Fusion for Home to this one, the Fusion 5S, which is up to about 6,000 square feet. My slide here says 8 simultaneous users. That's actually closer to 15 or 20. I need to update that, my apologies. And so just like the Fusion for Home, this one is going to boost voice and data, decrease dropped calls, etc. But it's just a larger coverage area, up to 6,000 square feet. MSRP on this does jump a little bit because we include 2 antennas and more cable. You've got the same outside antenna and a more powerful booster. So MSRP on this is $1099.99. But again, large home, large office, same great coverage, same great warranty, etc. Before I get into questions, I want to touch just a little bit on our in-house tech support. This is US-based tech support. We're actually close to Microcom there. We're out of Fremont, California, so Pacific time zone, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here's the number so that you can reference it, and that's available free of charge to you, to your dealers, to the end users. Anybody that has questions about our product can call and get answers. Help with installation. We're happy to walk you through anything that you have questions about or need. Also, as always, I'm listing the SureCall asset library. I've got the link plugged in right here, and this is a great resource, again, free of charge for you, your dealers, or the end user to download images, spec sheets, install diagrams, install guides, etc. Guys can pull what they want off of this, use it and post it on their website, post it with descriptions and help to inform customers about the product and actually sell the product. So this is something that's constantly being updated with any new images that we come out with, any new products or updates or that kind of thing. It's pretty extensive. So anything that you can think of, this is a really good place to go, a really good resource for everything. As always, I want to thank you for your time. My name is Jason. I'm the Western Region Account Manager for SureCall, and I will gladly take any questions that you have now.
Jason, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, and it looks like we do have a few questions. Let me read them to you, and you can answer them for us. Let's see, first one here. How do these units work going through concrete or industrial grade buildings? Any interference concerns?
That's a great question. Anytime we have a lot of concrete or metal, specifically inside, in the interior walls of a structure, that can create interference. And so this is one of the big reasons why it's always best, when possible, to have the donor antenna outside on the roof, because that's the best place to get a clear signal, and then we bring that signal in and distribute it throughout the home or office. And so if you have a building, for example, that has a metal roof, you're definitely going to want that antenna to be outside, above that metal roof. And then bringing the signal inside is no longer an issue. If you have a building that the interior walls have metal studs or a lot of concrete, and you're finding that the signal is not penetrating, that's a good situation where you may want 2 or 3 or 4 inside antennas and kind of split off from the booster so that you can place those inside antennas in the major areas or different rooms, and that will overcome that concrete or metal barrier. But great question. Yes, that can cause issues, and we always have a solution for that. Again, our tech support would happily walk you through the procedure, and we can help you with that.
Thank you, Jason. I'm going to go on to our next question here. It is, what if I have a need for 5,000 square feet? Can I simply put 2 of these units inside my home? And if so, what kind of interference will the units have on each other?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You know, if you have a situation where you need to cover 5,000 square feet and the customer says, you know what, can I get 2 easy 4Gs or 2 flares? I don't really want to mess with a Fusion for Home, or, you know, the Fusion for Home is just a little bit small and I don't want to do a Fusion 5S. Absolutely, you can do you can do 2 flares to cover that 5,000 square feet. And there's really no interference between the 2 units as long as you keep the antennas 30 feet apart. And so, yeah, essentially, if you're going to do 2 flares, for example, you would want to position them at opposite sides of the home, you know, maybe one on the west and one on the east, and just make sure you have that 30 feet of separation. If you can take the floor plan or the layout of the home and just split it in half as closely as you can, and have one unit cover 2,500 square feet and the other unit do the same, that works really well all day long, and it's a great way to cover both sides. So again, as long as you have 30 feet of separation between antennas, they won't interfere with one another. Think of the inside and the outside antennas kind of like a microphone and a speaker. If you get them too close together, they create noise or feedback. As long as they're far enough apart, you're just fine. Hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you very much. Let me go on to the next question here. How do I locate my nearest cell tower? Is it a visual location or a scope alignment tool that could work?
Yeah, we do actually carry, and you can find this in our asset library. We do manufacture and sell a signal meter tool that will allow you to kind of do what we call a soft install, meaning you get that directional antenna up on the roof, you connect the cable to the booster and to the inside antenna, and then essentially you would have one guy on the roof manipulating that antenna, and the other person, you know, inside the building walking around with that signal meter and just trying different positions and zeroing in on where you're getting the best signal. You can do the same thing with your cell phone, although it's not as precise. The cell phone's bars especially tend to be pretty subjective. You can put your phone into test mode to get an actual dB rating, but that's, again, the receiver sensitivity of your phone is not near as good as a signal meter. So that's one way to do it. There are several websites available, and our tech support team can offer those to anybody that needs them. Websites that you can go to and plug in a zip code, and it'll pull up a map of where the towers are located for that zip code. And so there are tools out there and a lot of ways to help. My main recommendation for someone that's new to this kind of thing and trying to find the closest cell tower would be to just call our tech support and say, hey, I'm doing this installation, or I'm going to be, and I want to find out where the nearest cell tower is for this directional antenna, and they will walk you through that process.
Thank you very much, Jason. Of the products you spoke about here today, can you tell us about their manufacturing or where they're manufactured? Yeah,
absolutely. Like all of our products, the owner of our company actually owns the factory that these are manufactured at. That factory is located in Hong Kong, and that's where all of our products are manufactured, and then they're shipped to our main location in Fremont, California, and dispersed from there. So we use top-notch materials and the best manufacturing processes available, but we're able to do it out of Hong Kong and keep our costs down quite a bit that way. So we're really proud of everything that we've been able to do with our factory and our distribution. We feel like we offer a really unique product that's manufactured well with an amazing warranty at a relatively low cost because of that.
Thank you, Jason. You talked a little bit about tech support. Can you tell us about customer service support?
Yeah, absolutely. Our tech support and our customer service are kind of one and the same right now. And so, always expanding, of course, as sales continue to increase and as our team expands. But yeah, tech support / customer service is kind of how it's set up right now. So if you have a specific customer service concern or request, you have two options. If it's more technical, tech support would probably be your first line of defense. Of course, you can always reach out to me or have your customer reach out to me for any customer service concerns, and I'm more than happy to jump in anytime that's needed, or even with technical questions too. If it gets too technical for me, I'll just conference in one of our techs. But as far as customer service, any of our sales reps or tech support reps, or even our engineering staff would be more than happy to address any customer service issues.
Jason, thank you very much for answering those questions. And I'd also like to thank everyone for attending today. And if anyone has any further questions after the webinar is over today, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And remember, this webinar presentation was recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel. So if you'd like to reference it again and view it again, it will be there on YouTube. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Jason, for your presentation and answering all of those questions for us today. We greatly appreciate that. Everybody have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Julie, and thanks, Microcom team. You guys are great. We appreciate all your support.
Same here. Thank you, Jason.